ready to head off the trails. I'm the Cryptid Huntress, Jessica Jones, and I'm ready to take you on a mysterious journey right now. We welcome you to Off the Trails right here on Spaced Out Radio's YouTube channel. If you guys haven't hit subscribe yet, please do. We would really appreciate the love. Shout out to BUMBLEFOOT for that amazing intro music. And you guys, please follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. You guys can find me at thecryptidhuntress.com, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Cryptid Huntress, and visit my shop, War Woman Goods. Y'all can find that on Etsy and on my website. I have a fantastic guest here tonight at SOR. I have Amber Joslin here with me tonight. Don't forget that right after this show, After Hours has a really great program set up for you guys. So let's get to our guest tonight. Amber Joslin is a physical medium. She connects with loved ones who've passed away, but also delves into channeling cryptids, extraterrestrials, demons, and all that lies in between. She helps souls find their peace and crosses them into the light when needed. Amber wrote her first book titled The Dead in Me, Cryptids, Aliens, Shapeshifters, Fae, and More, which is now available on Amazon. Amber also performs clearings and cleansings for private and commercial residences. Her experiences are documented on her YouTube channel, Amber's Paraworld, and that is such a great channel. I have a lot of fun watching her on YouTube, and I would like to welcome to the show Miss Amber Joslin.
Hello.
Hey, Amber. How are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I heard you had a little bit of activity earlier tonight in your car.
Yeah, just a little while ago. Yes.
Yeah. What happened? Tell me. I saw a little video.
The short part of the story in the short is I bought a haunted crystal ball out of a demonic room in a haunted antique shop, and there's two spirits attached, and they're super loud and noisy. And one of them was singing through my radio when the auxiliary cord was plugged in, and it was on auxiliary, and there's nothing plugged into it. The cord was just laying in the floor, and she made music come out of the speakers.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. So you have a haunted crystal ball. That's amazing. That's pretty scary. Now, are you into like haunted dolls and stuff like that too? Haunted objects?
I have one haunted doll. I've been given some from other people, and I just kind of let them tell their story and get them where they need to go. Yeah. So they're unhaunted after that.
Oh my gosh. So you can like cleanse an object and then pass it on to somebody else, not possess, right?
Yeah, that with the other ones, it was more of like just kind of helping them find the light, and they were fine.
I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, actually, Amber, I was out in the woods all weekend with my friends, Matt from Supernatural Spectrum, who's on the screen right now, and his mom, Marty, the Nana Boss Continuum. And we went Bigfooting this weekend. And yes, Matt, I've had a shower. I'm sorry. I know y'all hadn't. It's going to be a few more hours for y'all can get a shower. It's like the best thing ever, Amber, is like coming off the mountains and like going home and taking a shower. Okay. I feel so good right now because I've had my shower. It's been a couple of days. But anyways, we were out there. We had a lot of Bigfoot activity. Okay. ET activity too. But there was something that we encountered on the ride down from the mountain last night, where Marty actually called you to see what you would pick up, because we didn't really understand what we were seeing out there. So I thought that was really cool. Like you were able to identify the entities that were out there with us.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that, but I'm getting better at it too. Like I don't even need much information. Usually, I mean, it helps if I can see it, but you know.
Well, yeah, you didn't even have to see it. You picked up on it. I mean, there's so much ET activity out there where we were. This is the North Georgia mountains, and you picked up on it. Now we're not going to give it away because I know Matt is making a documentary right now, and so we'll see it when it comes out one day. But you were right on point. You were totally on point. So I was super impressed.
I drew Matt a picture of it earlier and sent it to him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. It's hilarious. Well, I mean, I can't draw that good. Like when I'm drawing, like I can't draw cryptids very well or anything like that. Like it's like chickens. I can do that. Chickens and goats and pigs. That's about it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, okay. You have an amazing YouTube channel. And the first video on there is the Shawnee, what is it called? The
Lake
Lake Shawnee?
Shawnee.
Okay. I've seen this on TV before at some point. There's like a haunted amusement park out in West Virginia where you're from. Uh, Tell me a little bit about that because you did a really cool investigation there.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard like just growing up, it's haunted. I'd never been in that area before, so we went there. I did not watch anything prior to it. I just knew it was
Yeah.
an old carnival. I don't really watch TV at all. So, but anyways, we go there, and this place was so different than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't really prepared for how many dead people there were. Like, there's more in one place than I've ever seen before.
Wow.
A lot of brutal deaths happen there, but there's also like there's like different elements. There's like this portal thing that I was getting ready to walk into, and this negative spirit like jumps me on camera, which that was I don't recall it happening, but I knew after I left the place that he was with me. There's a creature in the water there that drowns people. It's creepy. I would never recommend people taking kids and putting them by the water. I know they probably wouldn't want me saying that, but it's true. Like, there's been a lot of drownings there. It's been a lot, but
yeah,
I think this thing has everything to do with that.
Let's see. I think I pulled some pictures up that we can show tonight. So if anyone's, a lot of people may have seen this on, television, on the History Channel, or whatever channels these are that have like ghost shows and stuff like that. I've seen this. I don't know if Ghost Adventures went there or what, but this is a haunted. It's really creepy, Amber. There were actually children killed there, from what I understand, on a carnival ride. Is that how they died?
I think she was on this. On the no, she was on the swings. She was on the swings.
Swings? Okay.
And somebody like a work truck backed into her and killed her.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that is so sad. Very sad. Well, you're able to pick up on these spirits that are there, and you are a physical medium. Now, how is that different from a psychic medium?
From what I understand, a psychic medium they can kind of know what's going on in your life and your future and that kind of stuff. I guess some can be both, but if you're just a psychic, you're not probably picking up on dead people. So
oh, cool. Yeah, so you're a medium
on the dead people side. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Did you pick up on you said that there were multiple deaths there. Were you able to communicate with the spirits?
Yeah, yes, it was great. The first one I saw when I first arrived, and we're still waiting on everybody to get there, was a Native American man, very tall, and he was like really buff, And I told him I thought he was good looking, and he got mad.
Was he cute?
Yes, he was. And I'm like, you're pretty good looking for a dead guy, and he was like, that's not funny. Like,
you said that to him?
Well, he was not impressed. He was like, you don't need to be here. Like, not just toward me, but he didn't want anybody there. I think they uncovered like 2,000 Native American bones on that property.
Oh my gosh. So it's a cemetery?
No, it's just an old park, and they didn't know till they were digging up for something, and they found them.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, just make sure you put them all back.
Oh my gosh. Well, do the spirits get upset when their bones are moved around like that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea if that, I've heard that can happen. I'm not sure if any of them are mad about that, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Well, where my team goes out and we do research, wherever there's like one type of phenomenon, there's like every type of phenomenon. Okay. Like if we go out Bigfooting, we find UFOs and ETs and portals and ghosts and whatever. It's all out there. Do you find that when you're doing ghost investigations, there's other phenomenon at some of these places that you go to?
Like just everything in one place. Is that what you're?
Yeah. Everything, is there like
places like that?
Yeah.
But there can be, because there's times I'll go to like just investigate a spirit, a human spirit, or go someplace that's haunted, and then I'm like outside because there's all these creatures watching me, or you know,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
cryptids. And you know, a lot of times when we think of cryptids, we automatically, it's either Sasquatch, Dogman, you know, we don't really think of all the in between. And I don't even have, I don't even know names for some of this stuff. Like I just see weird stuff sometimes. And I don't know. It's like people would probably think I'm nuts if I would tell them everything I've seen, but there's a lot of cryptids that we don't have names for, you know?
Yeah. A lot of weird stuff. I mean, you're right. It's like we all clump them. We clump them into Bigfoot, you know, or Sasquatch, Dogman, Loch Ness monster, you know, whatever, and ghosts. But there's just so much more of a wide variety. Yeah. What is one of the weirder things you've seen? I don't think you're weird.
Behind my house, there's this white furry creature, and I've got him on. I've taken some pictures of him, but he wants me to watch him, but I think he's kind of like, he probably wouldn't let me close, but like he climbs upside down on the trees. His head will be like near the bottom, and he's got horns. So I don't know if he's like a goat man. I don't know what he is, but
it looks like a human.
No, it's an animal, but it's like it climbs up against the like on the trees, and it climbs down.
Yeah. Oh my
gosh.
He'll
look right at me.
Yeah.
I've seen him a few times. He's definitely creepy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, of course.
You know.
Yeah, that's really creepy. Now, but that's in your backyard, which makes it even worse.
I don't go in my woods that often.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a portal on your property?
There's one that I know of, but as far as I know, they don't really use, like spirits don't use it a lot anymore. I don't think it's been used much. I'm not sure about the woods.
Ooh,
I can't stay that long in there. It's so weird. You can just hear people talking when you're in there. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In your backyard, that one?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Is it during the daytime or just at nighttime?
Anytime.
Anytime? Wow.
Yes. Anytime.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's a lot of people that have paranormal groups in here that you got fans in here tonight, Amber. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
You do. You got a lot of people that really like your videos and stuff. Okay. There is a bunch of your videos actually. Okay. You do this thing called Randonautica. What is that? I am fascinated by that. I have no idea what it is, but it's really cool. Can you tell me what that is?
It's an app. You just download it, and you are supposed to think of an intention, like what you want to see or experience, manifest it, and then it'll take you to a random location. It does not keep you from going on people's private property. You just have to make good judgment and not do that. But I wanted to do it because some people thought that like people follow you from it, or it may be connected to a darker entity. You know what I mean? Like it's connected to something darker. So I wanted to do it and see what I thought. And up until the last time I filmed, I was kind of just convinced like it's 2 a.m. There's creepy people out at night, because there are. I still think that, but I think there's more to it. I mean, the last experience I had was extremely creepy.
Yeah, I think all your experiences have been creepy with that. All the ones that I saw. Now, it almost, to me, it was, okay, this is a terrible analogy, but it was almost like a Pokemon Go for the paranormal. Okay.
It's similar. Yes.
And now how does it generate though? Like, I guess I don't understand it very well. So like you just you set your intention, you say what you're looking to find, and then it sends you there.
Yes. So, it just sends you somewhere, and you have to get out.
Who's in charge of this? Who's in charge of this? Like, is there like a company behind this, or like what?
There definitely is a gas company, because there's times I could drive around for 4 hours and get 20-minute video, because like a lot of times it'll take you over and over to people's driveways, and you know, I don't ever trespass. I would never do that. But
well, tell me exactly like what you set your intention to find. I'm sure our audience is wondering. Yeah,
I've done like zombies or werewolves. I've done vampires, cryptids. I think the West Virginia white thing, that one hasn't made it into a video yet. That one's a few weeks ago. Murder weapon, Left 4 Dead, you know, stuff like that.
Okay. Am I the only one who doesn't know what this randonauting is? I think I'm the only one. So Cryptiville saying it could be dangerous because it could be accessed by people who know how to. I mean, I would be afraid of like human trafficking or something, like somebody be following me around, you know.
Yeah,
if you did that.
It's creepy. Time a couple times, I don't know when this was. It was like a week ago when I was using it. It was after I bought the crystal ball though, but every time, and I had like, you know how the maps lady voice, right? Like she's telling you where to go, turn right, you know, on whatever. At one time she said, I was like, I don't know where I'm going. And she said, you turned left. When does it ever tell you what you already did? Like she was talking in past tense and making like the app, it'll say where to go. Then that one time it was going after she would talk. And
on your GPS app?
Like on the maps, yeah, like on my phone. Yeah, she was hissing. Oh my God. So I don't know. I think there's something to it now.
Creepy. That is so creepy. Yeah. So some people are saying that they had found dead bodies and stuff by using that app.
I think that's one of the earlier ones, like how it got popular, I guess. Some teenagers were using it and found a suitcase with remains in it.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of dead bodies, you have investigated one of my favorite places. I've never been there personally, but Bobby Mackey's Music Hall.
Okay? You would love it. Is that
what it's called? Oh my gosh. That is fascinating to me. And it was very dark there. Mm-hmm. Tell me about your experience with Bobby Mackey's music. Is it Music Hall? Is that what it's
Music
called?
World, I think.
Music World. Yeah. Music World.
I definitely want to go back there. It's in Kentucky. Okay. I want to go back. I've already seen it, like how they want me to sit on the floor when I go back and where to be.
Oh yeah? What do you mean?
I had some wild experiences there, but even though some were negative, I still want to go back for some reason.
Oh, do you think it's calling you back?
Oh yeah, they came to me before I even went there. As soon as I booked it and got the confirmation email.
Oh yeah.
They were there like, if you go, you're going to regret it, and like trying to scare me away. And I'm like, that's going to make me want to go more. You know.
Now, who was talking to you? The spirits from there, or the
spirit
guides here, like where you live?
It was one of like the negative energies from there.
Oh my gosh, I would be, I would be hesitant actually to, I don't know. So you get warnings and stuff. Do you heed the warnings sometimes? Like if one of the spirits is like, something's going to happen to you, you shouldn't go. You go anyway. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because there's been some times that, you know, it's like you just decide to stop or leave someplace just on a whim. And it's a place you just drove to and, you know, looking forward to filming it. And then you're just like, nope, I got to go. And majority of the time, it's like a human danger thing too, because when you're out at night in the cemetery or wherever, it's midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, or playing Randonautica, you're alone. And, you know, for Randonautica, you get out of the car and you go explore. I mean, the same as if you go to an abandoned home or whatever you're going to. So I don't know.
Well, okay. So at Bobby Mackey's, there was the story of the woman who was dumped in a well, I believe. And but these two men, now, when you go to places like that, I know you pick up on the energies there and the spirits. Now, from the story that happened, did you pick up on that when you got there?
I didn't get a lot of like super negative energy from the well itself. But right, like not too far behind it is this like cubby hole in the brick in the basement. And my friend and I were in there and we were both getting images of people been chained to the wall and starved and tortured. And it was just, you know, that was the strongest energy that we felt other than the demonic ones.
Oh my gosh. So do you think that having so many people that are going there to do investigations like really ramps it up and it's made it more demonic?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know that some people can go there and not even get a disembodied voice. You know, it just depends on how open you are and with especially with like intentions and wanting to be there. You know, two people can go have the exact same experience and one person didn't hear it or feel it and the other person did. But yeah, the spirits, they're like smaller groups. I think if you keep it like 2, 3, 4, you're fine. If you have like huge groups, you're not going to get as much.
You're not. That's kind of how it is when we go out and do Bigfooting too. It's like when we have less people, we get more action, you know. What's something that's very interesting I've always noticed is like if we have a big group out there in the woods and we do like a week or a weekend out there doing stuff, a couple of guys will stay behind for like an extra night because they are guaranteed to have activity after the whole group leaves. It's almost a guarantee. So I find that pretty interesting too. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been talking with people lately about haunted attractions. Okay. And, like we just had Halloween not too long ago, and they had all these haunted houses you could pay to go in and stuff. And there's some, not to compare those to like real haunted houses, but I guess it does like generate a whole lot of fear and things like that. And so it kind of does. Do you think that that's makes it more prone to being like haunted and like demonic entities coming out and stuff like that?
There's a lot of stuff about spirit that I don't understand still, and I don't know how it works, but I know that typically like houses that are abandoned or, that's been left for a long time, it's like some of them tend to flock there, and it's usually the negative ones. They're not, I don't know why that happens, but I think haunted places could draw that energy because they're, you're manifesting it, you're manifesting the scary stuff, you're manifesting the ghost. So they're talking about it over and over, it's going to bring it in.
Okay. So how do you feel about places that are haunted that people can pay to go to? Like, let's say the Conjuring House, or like the Haunted Hill House or something like that, like out in Texas, where people actually have to sign forms. I'm not sure they do at the Conjuring House, but some places where people have to sign forms to say they're not going to cross the spirits over there.
I've heard of
those.
How do
you feel about that?
Yeah, I've never been.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of been a struggle, not a bad struggle. I've only been to a few places that I felt that from. I won't name names, but I went to this one place, and it's a pay to go place, and it's haunted. But the male spirit there, he used to live there or work there, but he was thought he was very prominent. Like, he was something in town back then, and he wanted everybody to just obey him. So he was holding all these female spirits trapped. He wouldn't let them leave. So I thought he needed crossed over so they could have some peace. If you want your place to be haunted, it's still going to be haunted, but they're not going to be being tortured after death. So that's hard, and it's not my call to make on stuff like that.
Yeah, I totally get it. I get it. I think I got a little irritated when I was hearing that. I was like, you got to sign a waiver to not cross people over. But that's that's a good idea. Now, do you find when you go into like cross a spirit over, do they always want to be crossed over, or do some of them want to stay?
That just depends on who they are, their personality. I have had spirits follow me home from a haunted place that you pay to go to, and once they're at my house, I'm going to cross them over when they want to. So they're on in my territory. But I've had that happen several times, and I don't know. Some of them just don't want to cross over. A lot of them, it could be because of religious beliefs. They don't believe the same way I believe, or they don't believe in the same creator, and that's when, because usually I'll pray with them if they want to cross over. But when when they don't believe in that, you have to go somewhere else. So that's when sometimes I'll call on their grandma or somebody in their family to come and get them. And that's awesome. Fun.
That's awesome. I love that. You're doing God's work, girl. I like that. Now, Christine in the chat, she brought up fairies. Okay. And I know that you wrote a book, and you include fairies in your book. First of all, let's pull your book up and show everyone real quick what your book is. Let's see. We have The Dead in Me. Hold on. Let me take that comment down. Okay. The Dead in Me. And it is cryptids, aliens, shapeshifters, fae, and more. I mean, you cover it all. I love this. And I would love to talk to you about fairies tonight, because I don't know the first thing about fairies. That's not up my that's not something I've encountered before. Have you encountered fairies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a video on my TikTok of one of them running through, like it climbs over my gate. It runs across the yard and jumps on the tire and plays on the top of the hood of the Jeep. And then it jumps down, and I've got it on video from the surveillance camera.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, they frequent. I just saw one the other night, but my daughter has a fairy garden now, so they've got their own area. But
so you do a fairy garden for them? And
we just recently started that. So hopefully it works out and I don't make any of them upset. So I was always kind of afraid to try to connect with any kind of fae, because I've always heard those stories like, oh, once you're in debt to one, or you do something and they get mad, you know, it could be like this lifelong curse. Yeah. So I kind of didn't mess with them. But then they started taking things out of my house and hiding them and not giving them back for like 8 months, 6 months. And then that's when I started trying to connect with them more.
Oh my gosh. What kind of items would they take? Yeah.
Keys and a book.
Keys. I was wondering if it was keys. That's what I was kind of thinking. Probably hiding your keys and stuff. Things that you need, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I heard that fairies can get really mad and be very vindictive.
See, I don't know. I don't know if I would even know if they were doing that, you know? So I don't really gift them. I guess the fairy garden was, but I try not to gift, like leaving. I'm not going to leave anything and take anything that could be theirs. If we see a cute flower near it, we're like, nope, we're leaving it. Yeah. We're going to leave them alone.
Oh yeah. You don't want to make them mad at all.
Right.
Definitely not. Well, you also have gone out and you have looked for, what is it? Hellhounds mm-hmm. and Dogman. I mean, you are very brave. First of all, very brave. Tell me why you decided to go looking for hellhounds.
Well, if they wouldn't have growled at me and snarled at me as I was leaving this location, I wouldn't have had to go back. But it is their fault, because we hear snarling and growling and like, you know, this, I'm not going to do it, but it was just like this intense snarling and growling. And we turn around and there's 4 of us and it's getting dark, but it's like still evening. Yeah. And we turn around and there's nothing there. There's no dogs in sight. No dogs barking in the distance. So.
Yeah. It was like last night, I actually heard like a grunt when we were out in the field, and Matt had to turn on the flashlight. We were looking for a bear to make sure there wasn't a bear out there. I don't think it was a bear. Okay. But yeah, when you hear a grunt or a snort or something like that, mm-hmm. you need to check to see what it is, because it could be a bear. It could be a deer. It could be a pig. It could be pretty much anything. So yeah.
Yes, it could.
Yeah. Got to have that situational awareness, I guess.
Yes.
So yeah. Well, have you ever seen a Dogman before, or even a Bigfoot? Have you seen one up close?
Not like person to person, but I've definitely gotten images of.
Yeah.
Well, I did. Okay, never mind. I take that back. This was just a couple months ago, but I was in my woods and I did get some good photos of them. But I've connected with him. The one on my property, I have one that lives there. So he and I are working on being friends. I'm trying to like be his friend.
Nice. Better be friends than enemies.
Right?
Right. Yeah. Do you ever, have you ever done gifting with them? Like left something out for them?
I did once, but I don't know if it worked. I don't think I went back to check. I meant to, but I didn't. So I might try that again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? Okay. So Christine is talking about fairies again, the skeletons. Okay. I have a friend who sent me a picture one day, and it was a rock that had been cut open. Like, I guess they smash them and they open the rocks, and it had a fairy skeleton inside of it. He claimed it was real. Now, I don't know. Do you, I mean, you believe in fairies. I believe that with the things I've seen, Amber, I believe fairies could be, and probably absolutely are real. Okay. They're real somewhere. But this thing, it was an actual skeleton. It looked like a human skeleton, but it had wings on it. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool.
I would like to see one. That would be cool.
Yeah. I'll send you that picture. How about that? I'll send you the picture.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. These comments are moving so fast tonight. Okay. So you occasionally will go out into a cemetery. Okay.
Yes.
Do you go by yourself late at night?
Sometimes. Sometimes I have people with me.
Okay. Well, I was watching a video, okay, a couple of your videos where you went out and you summoned Bloody Mary. And there was something in that video behind you in a mirror. That was the real deal. That was wild. Okay, tell me about that. And is this something that you do often?
I just decided to do that for Halloween, like through October, to go out and like try to summon things.
Yeah.
It was probably against I should have chosen better, but I did anyways. I mean, I want to see what the hype is about. There's a lot of people that grew up doing that stuff,
Yeah.
daring your cousins to go say Bloody Mary in the mirror and see what happens.
Oh my
But I
God.
didn't
I
want
think
to do
we
it at
totally
home.
did that.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it at home, so I took a mirror to the cemetery and did it.
Oh my gosh. Which was pretty terrifying. I would never do that because I'm too scared to do that. With the ghosts and stuff. I don't know. I grew up seeing ghosts. Now, when you were a kid, did you grow up seeing ghosts? And how early did all this start with you?
I was 5, and it was with seeing a UFO in the sky, and it was really close. And I remember it landing we lived on a hill, and I remember it landing down below the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this light flash from it. Then it got dark. A few days later, I went down there to see what was going on, and the ground was kind of charred. In a big circle, the ground was charred, like this huge area. It wasn't there, but I knew something had been there. So I knew I wasn't imagining it or anything.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of been ever since then.
Wow. So it started off, so when did you realize that you had psychic abilities?
I mean, I guess looking back at it now, I don't know. I never was really afraid of it until I got older. But it's just like, I don't know. I thought it was normal. I was never I didn't grow up when I first started having experiences, I wasn't watching, Nightmare on Elm Street at 2. But so I didn't really know nothing about it. But I know that I think one time when I was probably in kindergarten or first grade, I think I'd had some kind of out of body experience or astral traveled, something like that. And I still remember that. And it just kind of increased. And I would still go places as I got older looking for things, and I'm like, let me go find stuff. But then they would follow me home and I didn't know how to deal with it. So that was a learning experience.
Yeah. How was your family were they very supportive of you having your psychic abilities when you were growing up?
I just kept it to myself. So
did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet that was kind of I don't know. Is it because you were embarrassed or you didn't want people to make fun of you, or you were a lot of the women in the family.
Yeah, a lot of the women in my family have abilities. So we didn't really talk about it, but it wasn't we didn't really, I don't know. I've seen it in other, my aunts and my mom. Yeah. So, but we didn't really talk about it until I got older, but it was just kind of who we were, who we are.
Well, that's kind of how it was in my family too. My family's always very supportive, and all the women in my family had psychic abilities, but they didn't talk about it like that. My great grandmother and my aunt had a UFO experience where they were possibly abducted, but to them, that was never a UFO experience. That was angels taking them out of harm's way, when they had missing time, when they were driving down the road. So it's all about kind of perception, I guess, with this stuff. But, and they wouldn't say, well, they're psychic, but they knew things, you know what I mean? So it's probably similar with your family.
Yeah. There are some people in my family that want nothing to do with anything paranormal or with anybody dead, they don't like it. So, but I have the ones on my side I need. I'm good.
Yeah, I know. Well, as long as you got a couple of people to support you there, you know. And what about, you have children? You have a daughter for sure. Does she have abilities?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you help her kind of nurture those abilities and
yeah,
because I know she's there with you. I know she was in that video where I know she knows there's ghosts around. So and does she get scared with spirits being around you guys so much?
Sometimes, but if she's going to experience them, I'm not going to hide anything from her. She can ask me anything, tell me anything. I'm like, if you see somebody, you hear something, tell me, we'll talk about it. Yeah. Because there's times she hears things that I don't hear, or vice versa, or she'll see things that I didn't see. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very open with her about it. And if it's a safe location and not late, I'll take her to the cemetery with me, or, we'll go out exploring, and she likes to go look in the woods for Bigfoot. So
she likes the Bigfoot.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's my girl. Okay, good. That's awesome. Well, do you ever go out with teams and do investigating?
I haven't yet. I haven't gotten to do that yet.
Yeah. Well, you're like a one woman show though, and you're so brave. So yeah, you should come down and go out with our team sometime. You know what? And that's what I was just saying earlier. You should come down next time Marty and Matt are in town. We should all go out and do some investigating together. All right. So I think I mentioned earlier that I had remote viewed the Conjuring House for my show on Friday night. And now, are you familiar with the Conjuring House?
I've heard some about it, but I don't know if I remember the names of the people that were supposed to be haunting.
I think it was the Perrin family. Andrea and there were like 5 daughters there, and the mom and the dad, and they went into this. They bought this house for super cheap. It's always like the super cheap house that's going to be super haunted, right? So yeah, and I can't remember. I think they were in Rhode Island. I think, I'm not sure, but yeah, you know, they called the Warrens in, Ed and Lorraine Warren, to come in because they were having like demonic activity at this house. So yeah, I was just wondering, you know, what do you think about Ed and Lorraine Warren and the demonology aspect of all this?
You'll have to watch the video I did last year on them.
Yeah,
it upset some people. I'm not a fan of them at all.
Okay. Sorry, I'm having to delete some crazy people in chat over here. Somebody, all right. Do I have any wrenches in my chat tonight? You guys, please help me out. All right. So, okay. So you said what? I'm sorry, I got distracted there for just a second.
I just said that.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm not a fan of Ed and Lorraine Warren at all. I did a video on them last year. Some people didn't like it, but I explained my reasoning for it.
Okay. Well, tell me about that. Like, why do you not like Ed and Lorraine Warren?
He did some really shady stuff that he shouldn't have done, that he should have went to jail for, in my opinion. Yeah. But he got by with it. So
okay, well, we don't have to go there. We don't have to go. That sounds
we're not
personal.
going there. But they also did.
I thought it was have to do with ghosts. Okay.
Yeah, they also did not have any actual proof of hauntings. They would go into locations, and the majority of them, they were either uninvited or got kicked out like the next day. They never actually investigated fully or helped a family. Like, they never got rid of an entity. They never, they never helped anyone. People get obsessed with them because, they did these movies, but these movies are not based off of their investigation at all. Yeah. And the owners will tell you that too, if you look it up.
Oh my gosh. Well, I had never heard that before. We just get, see the movies and stuff like that. So yeah. You deal with demons sometimes. I mean, how do you deal with demons? I mean, do you send them to the light, or like, how does that work?
They're difficult. The first time I ever encountered them were at Bobby Mackey's. The one that was like, I think they're different. Like, when a human is like consumed by a demonic entity, and then their life ends because of that, and they in turn are like a sort of demonic, but they still have their human aspect. Yeah. And then there's like, he was fine to talk to. He didn't want me there, but he was fine to talk to. But the other like demonic entities that were downstairs, like one of them like told me we were leaving, and one of them told me to go sit in this chair. So I did. And he starts squeezing my head, and he twists my head, and I'm like staring in this room, and I keep seeing these feet walk by, and everybody's getting ready to leave. My friend notices, and he's like, "What's wrong with Amber? She's not moving." And by the time like anybody said anything, like, and he kind of left at that point, but I had tears running down my face. My head was sore.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I would still go back. But those ones, they didn't follow me home. They didn't try to, I didn't need to do anything with them. But then I've also dealt with one that was really strong, and we had to do like 2 exorcisms. So
exorcism. Okay. So wow. So you do exorcisms too. All right. So
not officially.
Not officially.
I had to do it. This was like
Yeah, but you're helping people though. You're helping people when they're people get desperate, right? Like whenever their houses are haunted and their kids are being affected. I mean, I've had people contact me who there was a family who their children were being abducted by aliens, and they were in a bind, I guess. Like they were desperate, and someone reached out to me to try to help them, and I'm like, I'm not an expert on helping people with, alien abductions. But it turns out the mother was actually the reason that started happening is because the mother was calling the UFOs in, and she thought it was cool. And the next thing she knows, there's aliens looking in her windows, and then the kids are getting abducted.
Oh, wow.
And the kids are doing bad in school, and they're tired all the time. They couldn't figure out why. Yeah. So, but when people get desperate, they'll pretty much do anything to try to get rid of either the demonic possessions or the ETs. I mean, personally, I don't know how you get rid of ETs. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not my specialty. I've never heard of anyone being able to get rid of them. So yeah, I don't know. Have you had people contact you because their kids were being affected and their families were being affected?
yes. But also from a lot of like the readings I've done for people and in my experience, people will freak out every time they hear the door tap or, they hear a footstep, and they automatically assume it's a demon because they see it on TV. All the ghost shows, on TV, everything's demonic, but it's not. It could be grandma tripping over a shoe in the hallway, or, somebody just
grandma.
I did that. I had that happen in a reading. This lady thought that her house was haunted by something negative, and it was her mom on a walker hitting the door. Like I just kept seeing her do this over and over. And she was like, yeah, she used to do that all the time. Like, it's just grandma, don't panic. It's not always something negative. Now it can be, but it's not always.
Yeah. Do people in your hometown and wherever you live, do they know that you're a physical medium?
Some do, some don't. So,
yeah. So tell me about some haunted house stories that you have. Did you grow up in a haunted house?
Yeah, but I don't think it was it may not have been the house. It could have just been me. I don't know. I'm not sure because they follow me everywhere I go. So it was probably just me.
Yeah, I've actually looked at it like that too, because I've lived in a lot of haunted houses, and I'm like, well, is it the house or is it me? But there's one house in particular I lived in. It was not me. It was definitely the house. Okay. And so I don't know what the deal was there. It was very dark and like demonic kind of stuff kind of going on there. But I'm a firm believer that it's the people that bring the activity in. So that's why it's really cool to have a lot of psychically switched on humans going out together to like even go bigfooting, like with Matt and Marty last night. And this weekend I was with them, and I believe some people are like a beacon of light for the activity. And I think you're one of those people. Yeah. I definitely see you bringing in the activity. Okay. So we've covered ghost, we've covered Bigfoot and Dogman, fairies. What else? Shapeshifters. Let's talk about shapeshifters for a minute. What are shapeshifters? I've done shows on shapeshifters, but like, what kind of shapeshifters have you experienced?
When I say that, and I think, I have like one of the chapters in the book is about the shapeshifters. So it's either going to be like a human that changes how they show themselves, which I don't know if that means they're like fully human or not. I'm not sure. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot that I still don't understand or they won't tell me. But I've seen things change the way they show themselves. But also the one demonic entity that we had to end up doing the exorcism on, when I first met this guy, I thought he was a human spirit. He was, had this black suit on, this black hat. He didn't show me his face, but he was, he didn't seem that bad. He wouldn't connect with me, but I just saw him. And then he changed in front of me. He changed into this giant black snake that was like, 18 feet long, huge. And he was slithering up the road. So I knew something was up with him at that point.
Oh my gosh. I'd be like, all right, just keep on slithering. Get away from me. That's wild. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I mean, I did a show on Shapeshifters a couple weeks ago, and it was like reptilians and what else? Oh yeah, skinwalkers. So are you familiar with skinwalkers? And have you ever dealt with that phenomenon?
I know about them, but I have not.
Yeah.
I have not tried to find one. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I don't know if I want that to happen.
I don't want to find one either. And you know what? I kind of joke around sometimes, because when we talk about Dogman, I'm like, does anyone actually want to call a Dogman in? I know we do things to try to call Bigfoots in, but does anybody really want to call in a Dogman? I don't know. Oh, and as I say that, my dog just busted in my office, so get my dog in here now. But yeah, that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that anybody wants to call in a skinwalker. So
yeah.
Well, tell me about your book a little bit. Let's talk about that before the night's over tonight, Amber. Oh yeah, let's talk about your book. I was actually going to ask you about dowsing rods, but we'll talk. How about let's talk about dowsing rods, and we'll go to your book.
Okay.
Do you use divination tools when you're doing your research?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me what you use.
I like using dowsing rods, pendulum. I just recently, like last Christmas, I got my first K2 meter, and I got a REM pod this summer. So I've never had a spirit touch the REM pod, even if I've seen spirit like stand beside a K2 meter and be like, I'm not touching that. It doesn't mean they're not there if they don't touch it, but I like my pendulum and my dowsing rods. I love them.
Yeah, I use dowsing rods too. I love dowsing rods and my pendulums, actually. Mm-hmm. Now, do you just speak to spirits through that? Like, you communicate with them, or do you use them for other stuff too? Like, if you just have a question about life, mm-hmm. or a lot of people use dowsing rods to find wells and water and, mm-hmm. and things, to move water. Do you use them for anything other than spirit communication?
No, I will connect with my guides that way sometimes. If I've got like a quick question that I probably already know the answer to, I'll connect with Heidi. She's the spirit attached to the doll that I have. I'll talk to her with those.
Oh my
I talk to my dad sometimes with them. So.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's awesome. What about, tell me about this doll you have.
I didn't bring it.
So you talk to your doll with the dowsing rods.
Yes. Her name is Heidi.
Is Heidi your friend?
Yes, I love her. She lives with us.
Oh my gosh.
Her and Paul live with me.
Okay, is Paul in a doll too?
No, he doesn't have anything he's attached. Like, he doesn't have a vessel. Okay. I brought him home from the beach a couple years ago. I found him on the beach, and he wanted to come home with me, so I was like, fine.
Oh, is that like considered an attachment, or is it just like your friend?
No, he just hangs out.
Okay.
I'll ask him to go places with me.
I love it.
And it's so funny because if I'm doing Randonautica and you ever hear me ask, Paul, are you here? And he'll be like, it's Paul. Like, he'll come through on the app or the spirit box, and I'm like, okay, thank you. Because he has my back. He looks out for me. So
yeah. Can he kind of like gather other spirits for you on the other side to like bring them in to talk to you and stuff?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You want to hear a funny quick story?
Yes, please. So
I had this spirit follow me home a couple months ago, and it was showing itself and been really loud. And I was like, Paul, you're supposed to be keeping them outside for me. That's your job.
Yeah.
But I had already started like trying to connect with this guy because I wanted to cross him over. He needed help. So, but then I start talking to Paul about this, and next thing you know, the guy's gone, and I'm like, where did he go? And Paul took him outside and put him across the road. And I'm like, but I need him right now. I'm meant for future.
But now, why did he take him across the road?
Because I told him he needs to start keeping spirits out of the house. He's supposed to keep them away. So he took him across the road.
He's like,
you got to go get him because I'm going to try to cross him over.
Yeah. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. That's pretty cool though. He's got your back. And I like that. We all need spirits to have our back. Oh my God. Well, okay. So tell me about your book now. Let's talk about that for just a minute. How did you decide to write your book? And you've included a lot of stuff in there. Is this just your life story and things like that? Tell me about it.
The first chapter, I talk about a lot of my first experiences, and one of the major ones that happened to me. And at the time, I thought it was like this terrible experience. And I was going through, but it was in some way because these spirits were like torturing me for seemed like the longest time. But if I didn't have that experience, I wouldn't have learned how to kind of like own my situation, put up boundaries because I had to reach out to people. And, someone gave me really good advice a long time ago, and I took that advice. And I've since been exploring, I do like a lot of meditation and I do that stuff, but I talk about that in the book, what happened. Yeah. And I do have a chapter on the UFOs and what happened when I was a kid versus like all the things we've had experiences throughout my life and up until recently. So it's got a lot of stuff in it. And most of them have YouTube videos to go along with them. Like if you want to watch it, I just talk more about it like in detail in the book, like what was going on.
Yeah. And you have a really awesome TikTok too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you do a lot of shorts. You even were telling stories about there was a witch that took a woman's eyes. What was that? That was awesome. Is that a true story or did you make that up? Like where did that come from?
One that I say. Yeah. It's just one that I made up.
It was so good. And was that an app you had on your phone where your eyeballs were gone?
It was a filter, yes.
Like, I think it was like so cool.
TikTok or Instagram filter, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really cool that all the stories and everything you do, it's just like it's such an adventure, Amber. And so yeah, when you say para world, it's like a whole world of paranormal for real.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. Well, it really is.
Yeah. Well, what do you have planned for your future? Are you going to be doing more investigations and things like that?
Yes, I'm already trying to get some stuff lined up for next year. I want to go on a road trip. That is like a priority on my list. I want to do a road trip and go to some places I've never been. And, even if it's like a haunted location, then I'll stop at the woods, do a little bit of both. I like doing that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, what is one of the biggest haunted locations that you haven't investigated that you want to go to right now? What would be like your ideal haunted location?
So mine would either, if it's in the United States, I would choose Salem. If it's
okay.
If it was out of the country, it would be the Island of the Dolls in Mexico. It's just kind of someplace I want to go. It's super creepy, and it's probably not good at all for me, but I want to go.
Oh my gosh, that is super creepy. Yes, I didn't Ghost Adventures go there, and they had the crying doll out there. Oh, that is so. Amber, you picked like the creepiest thing ever. Salem is pretty mild compared to that doll island. Yeah, but you like haunted dolls. My son has a horrible fear of haunted dolls, like big time. Yeah, I don't mind dolls, but I will not bring one home from a vintage store or thrift store because I'd be scared.
That's the only way to get him.
I know. Oh my gosh. What do you think about items that come out of thrift stores and vintage antique stores? Are they often haunted?
They can be. It just depends. Not every doll is haunted. Not every item is haunted. It just depends. I mean, but then also I was thinking the other day, like, even if something's not haunted and you go in there and buy this item, what if there's some spirits that are just like, I'm done been here, let me jump in that and ride home with you? I guess that could happen too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I actually started thinking twice about buying stuff out of the thrift store because of the attachments that it could have. Now, if somebody bought something that had an attachment, okay, or if you feel like you brought something home and it had like a spirit in it or something like that, what kind of steps can people take to get rid of that if they don't want it in their home?
If they get rid of it, they could give it to somebody that knows what to do with it, somebody that's experienced in it. Or, I mean, some people just kind of toss around things like that are haunted and people make it worse.
Yeah.
But getting rid of it would be the easiest way, to clear that out. But I guess they could stay if they wanted. But most of them, if they're attached to something already, they're going to stay in it.
Yeah. So that if they don't want to leave, they're not going to leave.
Yeah. They're not going to leave. They're just like
screwed.
people. I mean, they're going to make up their own mind. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, Amber, this has been awesome. This hour has just flown by. Let's see. Where can people find you? I think I have your YouTube pulled up.
Yes, here on YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube. Hold on. Let me pull this one up. Amber's Para World, everybody. Y'all please go subscribe to Amber's Para World. And also you have TikTok too.
Yes.
Is there anywhere else people can find you?
I'm on Instagram. Sometimes I use it.
Okay.
I'm still learning that one. And on Twitter. I know how to use Twitter.
Oh my God. Oh, and Twitter. And what are you on Twitter? Are you Amber's Para World on Twitter? Okay. I'm still learning how to use TikTok. So maybe we can switch. I'm really good at Instagram. If you're good at TikTok, maybe we can switch. And another thing, Amber, I thought was kind of cool. I would love to do a target with you sometime because you help locate missing people and cold cases sometimes. And I do the same doing remote viewing. We should do a target together sometime and just see what kind of data we come up with. If a cold case across the table, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be really fun. I think that would be awesome. And even if we didn't get the same data, maybe there's something, I mean, I'm sure we would get the same data, but I'm just saying we could see it from different angles and stuff, from the psychic perspective and the remote viewing perspective. I think that would be so awesome. All right. Well, awesome. Amber, thank you so much for being here tonight. This has been amazing. And I hope that you'll come back. Keep me posted on all of your paranormal adventures and please be safe out there. That Randonautica stuff, be careful. Okay, just be careful. It's very entertaining though. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, Amber. Well, I guess have a wonderful night. And thank you for coming on SOR. And we'll see you next time. Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye, girl. Thank you. All right. Amber is awesome, y'all. Please go subscribe to all her social media. Don't forget, right after this show, you can join the After Hours crew. They're going to take you on an incredible journey for the next 3 hours. Next week on Off the Trails, I'll have Tyler Howell here with me. He's actually in the chat tonight. We're going to be discussing his Bigfoot and skunk ape adventures, and I can't wait to see y'all then. It's going to be really fun. But for now, I'm the Cryptid Huntress. I'm headed off the trails. I will see you guys next week. I hope y'all have an amazing, amazing week, and I will see y'all then. Bye.